Okay, so you, like I said, were probably introduced to these concepts in fourth grade. So you know that an acute angle is, and here again, I don't know if I've talked about this or not, but and I know I did in the video. Uh, when I'm talking about the measure of an angle, I use that lowercase m. So now, when I'm talking about the measure of angle A, I know that acute angle, it is greater than 0 degrees and less than 90 degrees. So that's the measure of the angle. The right angle here, you can see that the measure of angle A on a right angle is always equal to 90 degrees. An obtuse angle, the measure of the angle, and again, it's an inequality, right? It goes, so the measure of the angle is greater than 90 degrees and less than 180 degrees. And then my last one is my straight angle, and you can see that the measure of this angle is, angle A is 180 degrees. And you know in a circle, so if you start at one point and you go all the way around, so if you go halfway around, this is 180 degrees. And then you go the rest of the way around, this here is, when you get to the other side, it's 360 degrees. All right, so the next concept that we're going to talk about is at the bottom of page 22. And so this is an angle bisector, and angle addition is what we're going to talk about. So in the first video that I made, I did talk to you about what an angle bisector is. So an angle bisector just cuts the angle into two congruent parts. So two parts that are equal. So if I know, let me just put in a point here. Okay, so if I know that this is an angle bisector, it's going to be marked as congruent. So now I mark those angles as congruent. So I know that the measure of angle CAB is equal to the measure of angle BAT. So that's what I know. That's what an angle bisector does. And this is an equality statement. So if I know they're equal, then I know that they're congruent. So I can write it as a congruency statement. So I can say angle CAB is congruent to angle BAT. So that one is a congruency statement. You see, I'm not talking about the angle, the measure of it anymore. I'm just talking about that they're the same. And so I just write it as a congruency statement. All right, so that is angle bisector. So it cuts the angle equally. So now if I talk about the angle addition postulate, so angle addition, so if I'm going to say the measure of angle CAB plus the measure of angle BAT, that is equal to the measure of angle CAT. All right, so that is angle addition postulate that we just did there. So if I know one of the angles, then I can, and I actually have to know two of them, then I can just solve for the missing one. All right, so let's look at this protractor on page 26. So it's just part of your homework. So if I want to know, let's just say the measure of angle FXE. So I know that, let's do the measure angle EXD, and I'm going to say it's equal to the measure of angle FXD. So in order to use this protractor here, I know that this here is my first angle that I'm going to look at. And I know you could easily just look up the protractor, but I want to just practice using the protractor. So you can see that it, like, since we're not in class, I didn't ask you to get one. So if I know I'm going to start here at 0, so this starts at 0, here's 10, 20, 30. So I know FXE is 30 degrees. So I'm just substituting that in. And then I can say, I want to find the measure of the next angle. So this is where I can kind of use that ruler postulate. So where I took one measure and subtracted it from the other. So that's what I can do to get that next measure. So if I can see that this goes from 30 here up to 65. So you could just say 65 minus 30. Then you would know that is 35. I mean, you don't have to do that, but I just want to tie it into what I just taught. So that is using like that segment addition. So, but basically we can, we know that 30 plus 35 is up to 65. So this is 35 degrees. And I know that is the measure of angle FXD. So this one here was 30, and this one here was 35. So I just added both of them together, and I came up with the measure of FXD, the measure of angle FXD. So that is 65 degrees. Okay, so I want you to find the measure. So I want you to do the measure of angle DXC plus measure of angle FXD is equal to the measure of angle is equal to the measure of angle, oh, you know what, I need to make that one a little bigger. So FXB. So let's just change this one. So this is DX B. So this is, I want this one to be B. Okay, so go ahead and solve those. So it's this angle here, and we already solved for it, so you know what it is. So that's the second angle, I should say, and then this is the other angle here. So go ahead and solve, and then you're going to just add those two together, so to get the total angle. We have this one already at 65. So I'm just going to substitute that one in first. So Isaac, how did you go about solving this? What did you do?
I counted the measure of angle DXB and
Okay, so, all right, so
yes.
that's how you solved it. That's okay. Did anybody solve it a different way? So Isaac
I did.
counted, Nathan, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so Isaac counted from here over, and he found out what that angle measure was. Nathan, how did you solve it?
All right. So I went about it in an odd way. So we have 65, right? And then on the other one, it's 40. So I went by process of elimination. We got to get to 180. So 40 plus 65 is
Oh,
105. So you get 75.
okay, all right, good. So you subtracted this side out over here, right? Is
Yeah.
what you did? Okay, and then found it. All right, did someone do it a different way? There's still one more way that you could have done it.
I did it a different way.
How'd you do it, Hannah?
I I found the angle DXC and I subtracted 100. Oh, I think I did it wrong. No, sorry.
No, that's okay. Continue. That's fine.
I subtracted 70 from 115 and I got 45 degrees. And then
Okay.
while I was doing that you substituted for 65, so then I add them together and I got 110.
Okay. All right. So, all right. So, anybody do it another way? Yep. Okay. Did anybody look to say, oh, I can see that this big angle is 140 degrees. So this angle, right away, you could just look at it and see that it's 140 degrees. Because if I start here at 0 and go all the way over, I can go to 140 degrees, and then you could subtract 65 from it. So those are just some possibilities of how you can solve these. All right. So each of you may have gone about it a different way. So Isaac, what did you get for the measure of angle DXB?
75.
75. Okay. All right. So this is what, so 65. So 65 and 75 is 140. So, all right, very good. Okay, so if you went about it just a different way than what others did, I mean, that's okay, as long as you got the right answer. All right, so let's now look at, so this is number 20 on page 27. So this is angle addition, is what these two are, 20 and 21. So if I'm going to find x, find the value of x, given that the measure of PQS equals 112. So I need to figure out PQS. So P starts here, Q, and then S. So it's the total angle. So I know it's the total angle. So I'm going to say, so when I write that out, I'm going to write out that statement the angle addition statement. So it's always best to start there. So I know the measure of PQR, and that's this angle here, PQR, plus the measure of RQS, and that's my other angle, RQS. So I'm just writing that statement out, and it equals that PQS, the measure of PQS. So now I can substitute my information in, just so you don't get mixed up. So write out that statement first and then substitute in that information. So when I substitute in my information, I know that PQR, the measure of PQR is 72 degrees. The measure of angle RQS is 10x. And then the measure of angle PQS is 112. So now I'm just going to use my algebra and I'm going to solve for x because that's what they're asking me to do, just to solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 72 and then I'm going to divide by 10. And when I do that, I end up with 4. All right, so let's look at 21. So it says find the value of y. So given that KLM is 135 degrees, and again, that is KLM is the total angle. It's the two angles together. So I'm just going to set my problem up. So I know that the measure of angle KLN plus the measure of angle NLM equals the measure of angle KLM. So I just wrote out my angle addition statement, my equality statement. Now I'm going to just substitute in that information. So I know the measure of KLN is 47 degrees, so I put my 47 there. And then I know the measure of angle NLM is 16y. And the total angle measure is 135 degrees. So you go ahead and finish that off just to check your algebra skills.